Hey guys, I hope you like potassium because Bitcoin is going to get absolutely bananas. All right, welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the channel. On the channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So we are currently in what is called the banana zone, guys. Now, from previous cycles in the last halving, starting from 2012, we have gone into these zones that is parabolic moves of the banana zone, which is basically price discovery of Bitcoin since its first halving. And if you look at each halving cycle going from 2012 and matching them up with the presidential elections, which we have coming up, we have a lot of catalysts that are putting us into this banana zone. So we got Bitcoin expected to run out on exchanges 9 months after the halving. We have massive ETF inflows coming from BlackRock and other institutions. Then we also have gold and silver is breaking out currently right now. And we also have the Fed is going to eventually make that money printer go so, and to top it off, we always have Michael Saylor and the nation states acquiring massive amounts of Bitcoin. So there's a lot of different catalysts that are going to lead up for us to get into what is called the banana zone. And it's funny, I told, like I said, my wife is so tired about hearing about my banana. But yeah, so with the catalyst being, we have the election coming up. And a lot of people don't like to really trust these polls, but here you go. Here's the polls according to Polymarket, Trump versus Harris, and this is what we are going into for November 5th to decide who is going to be president. But to show you this chart actually will show you guys and give you a metric of how the Bitcoin halving in the presidential elections line up in a 4-year cycle, and also lines up with how global liquidity starts to come in and expand around these times right before these halvings. And we've seen the U.S. cut rates 50 basis points. The EU has cut rates by 50 basis points. Canada by 75. UK by 25. China by 25. And then we have a lot of speculation of massive floodgates of liquidity coming from China going into the cryptocurrency markets. And then we have a lot of bullish news of banks and also Congress urging the SEC to let the bank's custodian Bitcoin. And this is actually what is happening currently right now, that we had breaking news that BNY Mellon, one of the America's oldest banks, gets the green light for the SEC approval to offer Bitcoin and crypto custodian services. Now, this is so interesting, guys, because we've been talking about this. If you watch the live streams, we have been discussing about how the banks are going to have to use this mentality of, if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. And these banks are going to start hopping on that train of being a custodian of this Bitcoin and this emerging technology, especially these other networks besides Bitcoin. So let's get into some of the charts and some of why we are feeling this banana zone and the metrics and the charts that are going to show you what it means. So look at the halving. You look at these halving zones, and we've always gone into what is called the banana zone of Bitcoin, where we go about a year of parabolic movements after the halving. Now, it matches up with this metric of Bitcoin expected to run out on exchanges 9 months after the halving, which indeed would ensue with a supply crunch. And then it also lines up with this metric of these cycles having a 520-day average peak after the halving. So it takes 518 days of seeing its peak price. And so if we were to measure from there, looking at our chart that we have had this measurement, measuring that chart, we would actually be getting into prices of August 2025 going into as high as $340,000 per Bitcoin. Now, this is massive banana zone territory, but this is what we did in the previous halving cycle, 2020. And from September, we went into the banana zone and we went parabolic, broke all-time highs. And so we are actually breaking out of what is this cup and handle pattern and bull flag pennant that eventually would, I think, bring us to this massive parabolic movement. Now, with that being said, we see also this pattern playing out with an Elliott wave theory along with the flag. So if you're looking at the flag, a bullish flag pennant, this is actually what I think is playing out currently right now on the chart, especially when you're looking at this chart. And also you can see I have a Bitcoin long open at an entry average price of 64.1. And so we've been adding to this trade, and we are swing long in this thing. And because we are in this banana zone, and we know by historical data going from the past halving years of 2017 and 2020, and now going into 2024, that we have had historically green quarter fours and really high performing months towards the end of the year. And especially when you start to look at those charts that we showed, the movements of the markets and the stock market and Bitcoin around the elections and after the election, it is business as usual, guys. It's business as usual. So with that being said, we have to analyze the fear and greed index right now, because the fear and greed index right now is neutral, and Bitcoin is sitting at 65,000 strong, about to break out of this trend on the bull flag. And if you can see here, we're starting to get an uptick of YouTube search metrics and trend on Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. It's starting to tick up, and we're going to start getting some spikes just like how we had in the beginning of the year. And so with that, we need to get prepared for the banana zone. So to end this video, I wanted to show you guys a clip of Raoul Pal explaining the banana zone, and I think he does a great way of explaining this.
The banana zone. So what happens at about this point in time, what we call crypto summer, we have this little shuffle around the all-time highs, and then everything just goes bananas.
Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal has the best explanation for what's currently happening with Bitcoin and crypto asset prices. According to the renowned macro strategist and former Goldman Sachs executive, the recent price movements of Bitcoin and other crypto assets are to be expected at this point of the cycle. This cycle is already extraordinary, considering how far prices have come just a few months into the cycle. This is the first time Bitcoin has made new highs before the halving cycle, and despite recent price movements, the leading crypto asset is still up by 134%.
Action. So the real price action hasn't happened yet. So I don't care whether this is tomorrow or in a month's time, because to Phil's point, the number about to go up. And don't overcomplicate it. Everyone will overcomplicate this. They'll be looking at weekly charts, daily charts, hourly charts, tick chart. Just forget it. You should have a year plus to make a lot of money. This crypto market is the biggest gift retail investors have ever been given.
So, and what he's showing and what he's talking about, and this was 5 months ago. This is what's so interesting. This was 5 months ago. So Raoul Pal's been talking about this for a long time, and we've been getting even more bullish in studying this banana zone that ultimately happens in the charts, and you can see it playing out so well in these previous cycles, going way back, even in 2014, 2012, right here. Last cycle, 2017, 2020, and then we are here and ready for that $325,000 Bitcoin. All right, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming into this banana zone video. Make sure you follow Raoul Pal's content and study the charts, study this zone, and know that the best is yet to come with these cryptocurrency markets. And we will see you on the next video. Peace out.